all of you doing today?
Well,
Doing
good, thanks.
great.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about this show. It put a smile on my face to watch it. And I wanted to know for all of you from your respective backgrounds, when bringing a show like this is going to be everywhere, what was the first thing that you just knew you had to get right when making this series?
On my end, personally, first we'll talk about backgrounds. First things first, I love that background you have on. I don't know where you got it. It's amazing. I don't know where it's from. And in terms of the background, in terms of what I wanted to capture right in the show itself, one was capturing the spirit of Lagos visually as accurate as possible. I wanted you to feel it versus just see it, right? Because if you see something that looks like it should be something, it feels a bit plastic and not real. And I wanted to make sure I capture the soul of Lagos and went into insane detail and disturbed Tolu a lot. Tolu enjoyed disturbing kind of the disturbances to make sure I captured those details as much as possible, and also amplifying the story Ziki was writing in the script and making sure the world and the story made sense together. So the soul and capturing that was one of the most important things I made sure I had to capture.
Yeah, I think what Hamid is saying is not sequestered to the visuals. It's just the entirety of the story. It is simply an authentic representation of Lagos that is heightened by sci-fi and futuristic elements so that it maintains that authenticity, but it's also fun and gives viewers a sense of escapism.
How about you?
I think they've covered it. It's really the spirit of Lagos. It needed to feel like this story would actually anyone from Lagos watching this should feel like this feels like it could actually happen in Lagos 100 years from now. So, and I think we nailed it.
Yeah, I definitely did. Look, I love the relationships between the kids and their parents. I like that we have it's something that everybody can relate to how your parents had a dream for you, but then you wanted to branch out and be who you really wanted to be. And so I want to know for all of you, like, what was that first dream that you had as a kid? Like, what was that first thing? Like, I'm going to be this when I grow up, and I don't care what nobody has to say about it.
Making video games. I always wanted to make video games, and my dad was supportive to an extent because he felt like as long as I'm doing something that can make me money so I can survive, then I can make my games on the side. He just didn't see making games as the actual thing that can keep food on my table. But it's like, sure, I'll get you all the support you need to make your games. Just actually get a real job as well.
My one, funny enough, it was animation from the start, and it was art. I would say the first one was art, then it grew to animation, and it was always there. And I was always known as the artist kid, but also I was because I'm really good at physics and math. So everybody in the family, I have a very large family, was expecting me to be the doctor, engineer, etc., etc. So it was a very weird whiplash, if I'm to call it that, to everybody who knew me from back home when I decided to go that direction. Because they expected of people who are not good with math or the typical subjects African parents should be good at. If you branch out, they're like, oh, that's why they went there. But if you're really good at these things and then you branch out, it's like a double whammy for them. So it was a very interesting experience watching everybody's reaction to it. My mom in the documentary, when you get to watch it, you can see her actual reaction to it. I'll let her kind of speaking over there. But it was interesting.
Yeah, I think the first career I wanted to pursue was much less practical. I wanted to be a ninja, so yeah, that was it.
That explains the kickboxing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying we can turn the show into a video game so you can learn your video games and then everybody can just be ninjas. Like that could be like a whole
Yeah,
spinoff.
Fun
yeah,
fact,
season
there's
two.
a video game dropping on the same day as the show. It's called Iwaju Rising Chef. It'll be on Android and iOS, and it focuses on the food. So it's a cooking game. Yeah. But before
Yeah.
I even started Kugali, I had started working as an independent game developer, and it's still Kugali. We focus on visual storytelling, so comic books, video games, animation. We've not done a game yet, but we will. But we've been doing comics, we've been doing animation, all of which are things I've been interested in since I was a kid. So I'm definitely still on my path, living my dream, doing what I want to do. And like I tell people, dreams don't turn to dust.
I really excited about this cooking game, y'all. I play games on my phone all the time, so that just really gave me life. So I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna be the #1 fan of the video game.
All right.
But I really love hearing your stories, and I think I love that we get to see these characters, from their past to their present, who really bet on themselves, but also too, like they decided to live life on their own terms. And I want to know, like, there's going to be kids watching this that feel like they can't do animation or they can't be a ninja or be a video game engineer. Like, what's that advice that you would want to give to those kids who feel like they can't see their dream realized?
I'll give it to do a one-liner. I like to lose one-liner to wrap it up. In terms of general advice on my one, it's usually it doesn't hurt to pursue the thing you love as long as you do it honestly and give it your best effort. So, because some people, a lot of people are always afraid of failing, right? Because the parents' gravity of it is one layer, and then there's a layer of you do that against your parents' gravity and then you fail. That makes it worse. It makes it a bit more fearful, and it doubles up the fear on that. And there's one thing I learned, which was as long as you pursue something honestly and you give it your all, even if you fail at it, it doesn't sting quite as badly. It will still sting, but not quite as badly. And it's just part of the journey as well.
Yeah, I actually already said dreams don't turn to dust during this interview. But I think another thing is if a kid wants to do something, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be art. Because I don't want to limit this to kids listening to this and thinking, oh, I want to do games or animation. Whatever it is you want to do, Hamid already talked about putting in your best. Putting in your best can be very hard work. It might mean sacrificing the time you're meant to be playing or doing some other thing and using that time to learn. But I think if you put in the work, you will eventually get good at it. It's a normal part of life. You put in enough hours, you're going to get good at the thing.
Okay.
I think the only thing I'll add to that is I think oftentimes people's aspirations are oftentimes a function of imagining only the positive elements of what it is that they aspire to. So I want to be a musician because I'm going to be popular and people are going to like me, or I want to be a ninja because I'm going to be like really strong and unbeatable. But the path to actually obtaining those things, to obtaining the fruits of these like illustrious careers is actually incredibly difficult. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate the fact that like, for example, if we take something like being an athlete, for example, which is a very illustrious career, the amount of hours you spend sweating in the gym and you're making like really, really tiny increments of progress. And it's literally a lifetime of honing your craft before you become that person that your inner child aspires to become is very long. And so I think people also need to not only visualize the positive sides, but also actually visualize themselves putting in that work and say, can I see myself doing this?
What he said.
That was some real stuff because if it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I just want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for bringing us this series. Thank you for your words of wisdom today. I just want to thank you for taking time to speak with me. And I'm just sending nothing but love and light all your ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay.
Look, when this show started, I was like, oh my goodness, like we out here winning.
Yeah, man.
Now. I really want to know, like, how does it feel to be a part of a series that's really gonna, bring in more shows and movies that kind of showcase the African diaspora?
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream. That's the goal, is for this not to be a one-time thing or a fad, but to really usher in, a new time, a renaissance for like African storytelling and even animation, which is, a genre that hasn't even been tapped, or a medium, excuse me, not a genre, a medium that hasn't really been tapped. But to be in the first one is definitely an honor, without a doubt, an honor, and for it to be done so well, with Disney and, Kongali, which is a Pan-African entertainment company, and Disney has never ever done a collaboration with an outside studio house ever in the history, their 100 year history. They've never done this before. So to be in this is beyond exciting, So yeah, I just can't wait for Nigerians to watch this first. You gotta take care of my people first, and then after that, I can't wait for the world at large to see it. I think it's a very specific story, but I think there's so many universal themes in there as well, for sure.
Look, my god babies are Nigerian. I was like, oh, I'm gonna
Oh,
make them
really?
watch this now. As soon as I
Okay.
get done, I'm gonna go over there and be like, come on, y'all gonna watch this show with me, okay?
All right, all right. That's cool. That's
But
cool.
what was like kind of showcasing the culture? Like,
Yeah,
what was that one thing? Like, what was the first thing that you saw when you actually got to see the series that you was
yeah.
like, okay, we cooking now? Like, they
Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of things. The first thing that I just have to go back to the booth. When Disney came and offered me this part, and they said they want to do a series in Nigeria, I was like, man, like if you don't get it right, Nigerians will let you know. They're not easy critics at all. And so, I spoke with the creators, who I really have to give a lot of credit to, Ziki and Ibrahim and Tolu, and they just were like, no, Dai, we're gonna make this as authentic as possible. Even down to the language, even just our little ad libs. Nigerians are very animated people. And the kissing of the teeth and things like that, and like even just being able to speak our language. When we get angry, we start speaking in Yoruba all of a sudden. Things like crazy stuff like that, and I remember like watching it for the first time, and I remember I did an ad lib because my character was supposed to be frustrated looking at a computer screen, and in an ad lib I said, wahala today, and I thought they would never keep that. They would never. And that's literally the first thing out of my character's mouth. And I remember hearing that and just go, okay, we're in good hands. You know what I'm saying? And like, even the wardrobe, I think the wardrobe is done incredibly well. There's this amazing designer, Blimpe. She was a consultant on all the wardrobe because it's not just wardrobe in Nigeria, it's what wardrobe in Nigeria will look like 100, 200 years from now. And so I think she did that masterfully, and which is weird because it holds up a mirror to what we're like now. You go to Nigeria, you'll see kids in Jordans and jeans and t-shirts, what I'm saying? But you also see them in very native traditional wear, and those things live side by side, and the food. Listen, you're not going to see agege bread. It's just hearing stuff like that was just so crazy, puff puff or jollof or pepper soup, it's mad. It's absolutely mad, so I think they really hit it right on the head. It's authentic for sure. For
they
sure.
definitely hit it with the food because I got hungry. I called my best friend from Nigeria. I
Yeah.
was like, your mama make me like some stew or something.
Yeah, it's pepper soup for sure. It's good for the
She make me
soul.
something. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But tell us a little bit about your character.
Hmm.
Tell me like what fans should be excited about to see.
Right. Well, I play Tunde, and Tunde is a self-made tech billionaire. Basically, he comes from Ajegunle, which is a less fortunate part of Nigeria, and he's grinded his whole life to be able to work for this amazing tech company, and he's created a new life for himself and his daughter, Tola. And Tola is our eyes and ears into this world. She's a girl who's grown up, very precocious, very strong-minded, like a father, and but a little bit sheltered. This is a man who came from a darker side of Nigeria, and he just wants the best for his daughter. And so he's created a bubble, for his daughter. And so she wants to see all of Nigeria. She wants to see what all it has to offer. And so she partners with her really good friend Kole, who decides to take her on this adventure to all the parts of Nigeria. And alongside that beautiful tapestry of our culture and our food and the best parts of us, we also take a dive into the seedy underbelly of Lagos as well. And so yeah, my character is really just the everyday Nigerian father, this out of time kind of father who comes from a different world where things were not easy, and to wear your emotions on your sleeve was to show weakness and to be taken advantage of. And so he has an arc that he has to go on himself, to soften his edges a little bit because he's a very tough, stern father. But over the course of our story, he'll see that he doesn't always have to walk around with that facade. He can let his guard down a little bit. So I don't know, it kind of reminded me of my father a little bit,
Oh
who's
no, he
now
was definitely been.
yeah, who's now 77, and all of a sudden he's getting soft on us a little bit. So it's like, yeah, there's hope for all the tough dads out there,
I
Yeah.
was like, can you let my girl live? Like, just let her.
Right, right, right.
Like, dang, like,
Yeah, yeah, tough, but it's a hard world out there. He's trying to protect her, but he's doing it to a fault for sure.
But I did love his dad's speeches to her. I was like, you way too
Yeah,
hard on her. But when he was giving the speeches, I was like, yeah, yeah, you got
yeah,
that
you're right a little
down.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not hard to play because we all grew up like that. You know, I come from a generation of Nigerians that, you know, if your parents were boomers, they were tough. They were tough on you, you know, and I think there's a gift and a curse to that, you know, and I do believe the gift of it is, you know, it instills a hardworking ethic into your kids. It instilled a hardworking ethic into us that nobody's coming to rescue you. You got to rescue yourself. You got to go out there, and the only way to stand out is to be excellent, you know. So I do believe a lot of Nigerians from my generation, we walk around with a chip on our shoulder. In any room we walk into, you know, we just have to be the best, you know. And then also why I think we're in a very great generation is there's a lot of healing that's taking place and a lot of, you know, oh, you don't, we almost overcorrected a little bit. Our parents, on the other hand, overcorrect a little bit. And so, you know, I do believe our generation is going through this amazing, you know, spiritual, mental recorrection of like, you know, let's dispel some of these myths, you know, let's break down some of these strongholds. You know, men, it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. It's okay to show love. It's okay to talk about your mental health and things like that. And I think, you know, Tunde goes through that in the story as well, where he starts to break that layer down a little bit, you know. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can have that and you can be, you know, the type A Nigerian that I think my generation is littered with.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but how do you balance that? Because you know, parents like, I want you to be a doctor, a lawyer. I want you to
Yeah.
be something big in this world. Like,
Yeah.
how do you make sure as you're growing in your career, like, how do you kind of balance the expectations that your parents have from
Yeah.
what you?
Yeah. Listen, make no mistake, I come from a family of incredible academics as well. You know, my mother is a British literature professor. My father worked for Nigerian Customs for decades. And my brother is a pilot for the Nigerian Air Force. My sister is an investigatory journalist. My other sister works at Amazon. And for a while there, Dio was the actor. You know what I'm saying? So that's tough. And but you know, my parents were just like basically go get a degree, go get something to fall back on, pursue this acting thing. But if it doesn't work, you know, have something to fall back on. You know, so I know for a fact I had way more understanding parents than other people out there, you know, because I definitely have friends who, you know, the moment they said they want to be actors, they were disowned. It's doctor, lawyer, engineer. I don't know about this actor stuff, you know. But you know, I think God is very fortunate in my life, and things have worked out for me. And you know, luckily, I made the right choice. And my father would say today, you know, when I started talking all this acting stuff, you know, he didn't want to say it to my face because he didn't want to discourage, but like he would tell my mother, you know, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong with this boy? You know, so I had to tap into that for Tunde a little bit, you know, but yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And so it just lit a fire under me. You know, I can't just try to do this for a living. I really have to try to be the very best at it, you know, because my folks made a lot of sacrifices for me to be in a position to even think that this was a viable career path. So yeah, yeah.
What was your fallback? I'm interested to know what was your fallback if acting didn't work
Yeah,
out.
I had two majors and one minor in college. I was an accounting and visual communications design major and a business finance minor. So I definitely wanted to go into something that was good with numbers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also creative. So I was like, okay, if I go into advertising, you know, that's a job that you could tell your parents, yeah, I'm in advertising and marketing, and you know, I got a desk job and I wear a suit to work every day. But there'd be a you know, a creative component to that. And I remember I had an internship from college for a company called Olivia Matherson, their ad agency, and they did campaigns for everybody: IBM, Disney, Coca Cola. And so I was like, "Ooh, I'd love to work for that company and just build brands and do marketing, especially television marketing." So I could watch actors, I could be adjacent to them, but like you know, not be in their shoes. So that's what I wanted to do. And out after college, they gave me a job, fresh out of college, and I turned down that job. And I said, you know, I'm going to go to LA and try to be an actor for a year and see what happens. And booked the Hunger Games, and the rest was history. So yeah, God just has a plan. But yeah, if they shut me out, if you know, if my career goes the way of you know the Jonathan Majors or something, I'll get a job out there. I'm gonna figure something out, you know. But the moral of the story is, you know, be kind to women, y'all. Don't do that.
I like how you casually said I had two majors and a minor. You know,
Yeah,
counting, counting that easy because after
listen,
managerial, I said no big
yeah,
deal.
yeah. Listen, America, I'm leaving here with something.
Okay,
I'm
y'all
leaving
gonna.
here with something. Yeah, I'm gonna make something work for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, what is your hope that when
Yeah.
people watch this, because
Mm.
we talk about the relationships with our parents and how we had to be the best of the best, but like
Yeah.
we're ushering in a new generation as we're getting a little bit more softer
Yeah.
parenting now. So what
Yeah.
is your hope that new families watching this that they will take from the show?
Yeah, I was just speaking to the last, gentleman that interviewed me, and I said to hold on to community, to hold on to the village. You know what I mean? I think at the end of our story, without giving too much away, the village is what rescues the day. The community of people is what saves the day, and not the thing. I think in the story we set it up that, oh, this thing is going to be what completely saves the day, but it's just a part of, a cog in the wheel of what saves the day. It's really community. And I think, we're going into an age of AI and being on your phones and augmented reality. And, more and more people are devaluing intangible real life relationships. And I think what I would love to get from this is, for families to be closer, to have real genuine connections. It's not always on Facebook or Instagram or FaceTime. Like, go spend time with people. I still believe it takes a village to raise a child, for real. Um, and that would be my takeaway. And then just for Nigerians to really have a sense of pride, our stories are worth telling. I think sometimes we get forgotten, or the narrative of trauma being the only stories that we could be told about us, whether it's slavery or, colonization, all this stuff. No, we have richer, different stories, you know what I mean? More precedent stories. That's the stuff that I like to take away. I like audiences to take away. And then for those who are not Nigerian to just see that, oh, there's so much going on over there. You know what I mean? So people are more curious, maybe they'll even take an extra step to actually visit the continent, come through, visit, check it out, eat the food, party with us. Be great.
You gonna show us around?
Huh?
You gonna show us around?
For sure. I'm the host with the most. Yeah, I have a
You gonna
company
go
called Positive Vibes Only. We throw events. So if y'all trying to come through, we'll take care of y'all, no doubt.
got some food events? Because I need some food.
Yeah, listen, there's always food at everything. Always food at any event in Nigeria, there's gonna be some food. Best believe.
Look, I
Best
can't
believe.
wait to show this to my family. I'm gonna get these
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna have them watch this. I just
Yeah.
want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I'm sending so much love and light your way, and I hope you really have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you.